Hi everyone, how are you? I am only seeing myself, Claire and Kathy and Sylvia. I'd like to see you too if you are ready to start. We're ready to start. Today we are so excited. Today is Friday 23rd, 3 p.m. It's time for us to start our book review for our book we've been reading. Actually, we read it last month, but I'm happy that we got a few more weeks to be able to read it. It's not a very short book. It is about 218 pages. This is my copy of the book, and it has so much colorful stickers in there for you to know that we have really read the book and gotten 3 extra weeks to actually finalize reading the book. I am so excited that we are all here. So we are going to start with the usual tradition of reading our poem, which is I Am My Sister's Keeper. Kathy, kindly read it for us. And as we also read to ourselves.
Thank you, Prim. Good afternoon, everyone. I am my sister's keeper. I will build my sister up, encourage her, empower her, and pray for her. I have no reason to talk about her, tear her down, be jealous of her, or compete with her. I'm going to stand behind her into her destiny.
Thank you so much, Kathy. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So we are reviewing our book today, which is called Leapfrog, The New Revolution for Women Entrepreneurs, a book written by Nathalie, Molina, Nino, and Sara Grace. And our book, if you're here and you have read the book, or some of us have not read the book, you are in the right place. We are going to have a very detailed discussion on what we read in the book. Whether you have been here, or whether you have read it, have been part of Girls for Girls, or not yet part of Girls for Girls, keep with us. You're going to listen about the book. You're going to learn a lot. Now, the book club is part of Girls for Girls mentors activities that we do as mentors of Girls for Girls. So when you join Girls for Girls for the very first time, you go through 6 sessions, or you go through the mentors training sessions. And after that, when you become a mentor officially, we have so many activities for you to do as a mentor. One of the activities we do is a book club. We also have a writers club. We also have a women entrepreneurs forum, and so many other activities that we constantly do. So this book has been interesting for me because it's part of the writers, a part of the book club, and also had a lot on entrepreneurship. So the book has 5 sections, which was 1, ready, set, go, fund, and grow. And I have an amazing lady called Claire, who is also the Girls for Girls book club lead. And she's also a business development manager at Vision Group. She's going to be taking us through the first section. Claire, I'm so excited that you're going to be part of us. Then the next part is going to be, I'm going to take you through it myself. I'm a product specialist at MTN Uganda. I will tell you much more what I do as we discuss the various sections that I'm going to take you through. Some of them are things that I've actually done in my job and in my career. And also, at Girls for Girls, I work under the events and programs lead. And I also work on the marketing committee, outreach and partnerships for Girls on the global level. And I'm really, really happy to be here. And I also work on the committee for the book club with Claire and Kathy and other people. And you're welcome to join us if you'd like to have any interest in the book club, if you're already a mentor at Girls for Girls. And then we also have another amazing lady who is joining us from the STEM cohort. She was in the STEM cohort. Yeah, Sylvia. You're welcome. She's a software developer at Refactory. Is it your dream to be a software developer? She is an amazing lady who can really, really show you the ropes around. So Claire, we can start with you as you take us through the first section of this book. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Primera. Thank you, ladies, for logging in. I see a number of familiar names and faces. Welcome to yet another amazing book review. This is my copy, and I really enjoyed reading this book. Why? Because I have a small side hustle that is actually still a side hustle, but after reading this book, I realized I need to actually use some of the tips, some of the fears that I've been going through, that I've had. Many of the people who know me don't even know the business that I do, and so I'm ready to share. And we start with the first section, mainly maybe about the author. The author is Latino from South America, but so she talks a lot about the Black community, Black women, and also the South American women from Mexico, the different opportunities that are there for them. And so, like Primera said, there's a lot of wisdom in these pages. And I'm just going to go through the first section. The first section is go. It's ready, and it's divided in different hacks. And one of the, I'm not going to mention each of the hacks, but I'm just going to tell you what I learned from each of the hacks. In this section, there are 10 hacks. And the first one talks about the core 10, some of the things that you need to be mindful of as you're going on to start a business. And number one from the core 10 is vision. You need to have the vision for the business. If you don't have the vision, then your business may not take off. Many times we see someone doing something and you want to do it, but apart from getting the money, do you have the vision to actually see this business grow? Do you have the commitment? And so one of the things that are highlighted in the first hack, which is you don't need a hoodie. A hoodie is like a hood. It's something that many of the people in the Silicon Valley actually wear, the men. So here she says you don't need to be a man to actually start a business. Even women can do it if you have the core 10. And one of them is vision. Do you have the vision for the business? Then the second one is, do you have the ambition? Many times we want to start a business, but you don't have the ambition to see this business through. Do you have what it takes? Then you need to have the courage to knock on those doors, the courage to ask for help. You need to be bold enough to actually take the risks that are needed for you to see this business take off and actually grow. And then, the fourth, entrepreneurial spirit. Do you actually have the ability to sell, whether it's a good or a service? Do you have the flexibility to actually change your idea according to the opportunities, according to the trends, according to what's out there? So in order for you to have the entrepreneurial spirit, the book says you need to be flexible, you need to be persistent, and you need to have imagination. Even if it's a very small idea, how else can you actually have this business grow? What else can you do to grow it? So then the fifth one is resilience. If you're to thrive in business, you must be resilient. You must be able to overcome the hard times, because it's not if the hard times will come in any business, it's when they'll come. And when they come, do you actually stay in that business, or you just give up on the idea? So the first 5 are vision, ambition, courage, entrepreneurial spirit, resilience, and then the 6th is communication. We in Girls for Girls, this is one of the core things. How do you communicate? And in this particular book, Nathalie says, sometimes you need to actually be silent. Sometimes you need to be silent and listen. Listen to feedback, listen to the customer, listen. Yeah, sometimes we think our idea is the best. It doesn't need changing. It has worked for you in the past, but we need to have the ability to listen. And then also leverage. Sometimes we think that we can actually do everything alone. But in business, you cannot do everything alone. You can't be the graphic designer who does your flyers. You can't be the salesperson who goes out there. You can't be the one in all the negotiations. You can't be your lawyer. You can't be your CEO, your everything. You need to leverage. How can you actually bring other people on board? Yeah. Alone, you cannot go far. It can sustain you for some time, but according to the book, she proposes that you recruit people who can actually help you do the different things. And then there is collaboration. Collaboration means working with other people. If you have a bakery and you're having challenges in terms of selling your bread, maybe the location may not be good, but if you actually get other outlets in other places, then your bakery idea could actually work. And so collaboration is okay, and is actually one of the core 10. And here she gives an example of, it's not about 2 dogs actually fighting for a piece of meat. It's about a pack of dogs strategizing to get the meat. And so that stayed in my mind. Instead of fighting, you need to actually collaborate in order to get that meat. And then talks about negotiation. We need to be able to negotiate on discounts, to negotiate with suppliers, negotiate with different people that you work with in your business, whether it's big or small. You need to actually perfect the art of negotiation. Then the last one was advocacy. In any business, it's not about, for it to actually thrive and prosper and to grow, you need to have the ability to get involved in advocacy. And there's no one shoe fits all. No, you can actually, the principle here is for you to pay it forward. If someone has opened a door for you, you need to have the ability to open the door for someone else. And so these 10 in this section actually stood out for me in the first hack: vision, ambition, courage, entrepreneurial spirit, resilience, communication, leveraging, then collaboration, negotiation, and advocacy. And then the second hack, that was the first hack. Then the second hack, don't mourn, organize. The many no's that you get, I'm in sales, and many times you get very many no's. These no's can actually put you off. For wherever you go, you think your proposal is good, you actually see that the idea you're proposing is will work for the client, but they keep saying no, or you get resistance in your business. In this hack, Nathalie says you need to turn your anger into energy and let the energy become the fuel for creativity. That is one of the key highlights for that particular section, that you need to be able not to give up because you've got a no, but for you to use that anger, that business anger, to become energy and fuel to drive your creativity and your drive, like to drive. And then you talk about the no's that you get. The many no's that you get in business should be your oxygen. It was actually amazing. I highlighted the word oxygen, that these need to be the oxygen that will fan into flame the desire to actually see your business through. And then hack 3, it talks about taking a daily vacation. And this is one of the things that I shared during the month, that it was some aha moment for me, because it says every single day you need to carve out some time for self-reflection and for peace. When you're trying to grow a business, you sometimes get overwhelmed because you're putting in more than 100% and you don't get time to rest. Now, this can be a problem if you actually do not take a break. And so that hack suggests that you need to calm down, recollect, have time every day, not only on during your leave days or during December holidays or off peak. Every day, carve out a certain amount of time for you to recoup so that you don't have burnout. And this is something that we've read in many of the books. It talks about having creating rituals every day that can actually become habits for you. And then another hack is hack 4. Now, hack 4, I had to read it like 3 times for me to get it, because it talks about getting to the yes, get to the no. Many of the books that we have read are telling us, find ways, especially in sales, find ways of getting to the yes. Now, this book tells us, find ways, forget getting to the yes and get to the no. What are the things that we have been saying yes to in our environment, even in the corporate space, not only in business? We are used to saying yes to less pay, yes to the workplace asks. In case if anyone wants something done, they have to come to Claire. We have become used to the workplace double standard. We have said yes to taking the majority of the economic burden in our homes and in our spaces. Then we have said yes to housework to the majority, the biggest percentage of the housework. We have said yes to doing business with companies that we know ethically are not doing right. For example, if a company is not using the right systems, the right protective gear, they're not looking to their workers, we need to say no to some of those things. So now, how do we say no? What are we saying no to? You reverse that. We say no to unequal pay. We say no to being a social clerk in office. We say no to taking the biggest economic burden in our marriage partnerships at home. No to the companies that harm their workers. So this particular hack is talking about some of the things that we need to look forward to we need to watch out for as we start our businesses and as we grow, whether big or small. And then the other hack was hack 5. It talks about becoming a walking sandwich. And this is one of the things that like I mentioned at the beginning, I am not a walking sandwich board. Why? Because I don't tell people about my business. Because at the beginning of this paragraph, Nathalie writes, who have you told about your business? Who have you told about your idea? Sometimes we think if I talk, people will copy. If I advertise, people are going to copy my idea and do it better. And that stops our businesses from growing. And so this hack says, become a walking sandwich board. And then hack 6, hack your inner peer circle. Many times we think that, okay, I need to find a market. So you go out and advertise all over social media, TikTok, your stuff is all over, even in Nigeria and the US and everything. Yet your business is actually about the people who are around you. You need to build a circle around you, especially for people who you're going to be accountable to. Who are those people? Who are the people who will counsel you and lecture you and hold you down when you get too excited or are about to make a mistake? So having the right peers around you was part of hack 6. Now, hack 7 is about stealing the paper clips. Now, stealing the paper clips is not about, and this is the beauty of this book. Leapfrog uses language that will help you remember the hacks. Now, stealing of the paper clips she did not mean that we steal paper clips from the offices where we work. You know, what she meant is that you must be having a business that is a side hustle, but you have your actual job. Now, while at your job, what are the things that you can learn at that job? Yeah, you may have a network that this job has created for you. For example, in my job, in my work as business development manager, my day is to actually network, to see opportunities, to see clients. Even with this particular job, it has opened doors that could never have been opened if I was in another business. So here, where you are, what can you learn? What can you learn from the job? The knowledge that you have. Those are some of the things she means by stealing the paper clips in the work where you are. And then hack 8, it's about being smart. Being smart. It's about it's about the DIY business school. You need to actually you need to use your education wisely. Many times you're like, everyone has an MBA. All people in my circles have MBAs. I must go and do it. Everyone is doing project management. I must get it. I need to do that CIM. I need to do all those things because other people are doing them. For this particular book, she recommends that you study, go out and customize your education, the business that you want to do. What course does it need? And then you go out and do that particular course instead of doing a generic course that may not work for you, and you waste a lot of money. And now, as I conclude, hack 9 talks about cashing in on your woman card. Today, most of the organizations, if you're looking for funding, the women, anything, and if you're a women entrepreneur, if you have a project empowering women, they have an ear for you. Yeah, most of them are actually prioritizing diversity, inclusion, and all that. So when an opportunity comes, Nathalie says you need to pull out that card as a woman. The opportunities that are there that can help you get funding. And the last one is worry about success and not failure. Now, I'm a culprit for this one because I worry most of the things about the business. I worry about how it's going to fail. If I put in this amount of money, what if it doesn't work? Now, in this book, Nathalie tells you that you have to stop thinking about what will happen if I fail and start thinking about what will happen if I succeed. And so that's in summary, that is the first section of the Leapfrog. I hope you've been taking notes because I have my notes, and I hope this helps you in your entrepreneur journey. Thank you, and back to you, Primera.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Claire. It's a very interesting section. And then after ready, we are followed with set, which is another section, which is the second section. And she starts the section with you cannot afford too many rough drafts. When we are in business as women, we are sometimes starting very lean, okay? You're so scared, first of all, when you're starting your business. She talks about 2 fears. One is where you're fearing to actually leave your job and not have a paycheck, especially when you have dependents on you. And sometimes you're carrying a very heavy burden in your home as a wife, as a spouse. You're carrying so many ideas. So hack number 11, she kind of tells us to forget our passion and find things we want to punch. And she says that we are also worrying sometimes that we do not have what it takes to actually have those bright ideas. So she continues to say that sometimes it's not about vision, all those heavy words you've had. Sometimes it's just about looking around yourself to be able to find the opportunities that exist that you can actually feel. Sometimes you may not have a passion for something specific, but all you need to look is to look around you to be able to find the actual things you can actually solve in your environment. So today I'm going to give you some little homework for yourself, like the one she gave us in the book. And she says, go look around yourself and write at least 3 problems that you are seeing in your environment. And then you write 3 solutions that you can actually put to resolve those issues. That's where the ideas are to start that business you've been longing for, that side hustle. You don't need to be able to think about those heavy marketing words to even begin with. There's nothing about you know too much. You don't need to wait to learn so much to be able to start that business or that dream that you've been looking for. All right, and then she goes on to hack 12, where she talks about a closed network is open season. I'm going to come back to Girls for Girls. Imagine like you're a mentor. We have started at Women Entrepreneurs Forum, all right? We tell the ladies every morning when you wake up, post what you do with your life. Yeah, there is, I don't know if Hazel is here today. I have Hazel who posts her perfumes every day, the knitting of the scarves, Daphne who posts her jewels, as in all the ladies that are, we have a proper community. When you start that business, Claire has told us, tell everyone about it. But again, do you have that community that you trust? Have you taken inventory of all your networks, people around you? Do you belong to BNI? Do you belong to Girls for Girls? Do you belong to a community forum? Do you belong to a women's ministry at church? Which communities do you belong to that you can actually leverage your business and actually tell them? Somewhere where it's a high trusted community where you can actually tell other women about what you do and you actually get business. To women who are also out there to support you to become better and better at your business. Then hack 13 talks about let the techies take. Now, some of us, especially now when COVID happened, we were offline. No one could have told us, like, start a Facebook page, start an Instagram page, start a LinkedIn page. Like all of us, some of us had these offline businesses. And then all of a sudden we had to come online. So there is an advantage with coming online and asking for help from people who are good with your tech environment to be able to support you to move online. But then as we move online in our own businesses, it's also important for us to be able to be keen, very keen on the kind of online platforms we choose. It's not simplistic to say, because Claire and Kathy and Hazel are using WhatsApp and Instagram, it's time for me to use those platforms. Now, depending on the business, depending on the kind of business you're trying to learn to put online, you need to be able to choose it accordingly. For example, we have Gloria, she's part of G4G, and she has an HR firm, okay? So an HR firm would possibly be best on LinkedIn. But if I'm doing makeup or I'm selling perfumes, I'm better off in in I'm better off doing Instagram, for example. So it's very important for us to also engage people who are in the tech environment, who understand, to be able to advise our businesses as we grow in that area, in the tech area. Then there is hack number 14, which is climb in bed with your customer. And she tells, not literally jump in bed with your customer. She talks about intimately knowing who your customer is, and deeply and intimately. She gives an example of a lady who was looking for factories where people would actually, like, smaller, like if you have been able to, you've been in a business where you needed something manufactured. Let's say I'm selling juice, and we have very generic bottles in the market. If you've tried to sell juice and you want to package like 1 liter or 2 liter bottles, sometimes you may want like a factory line to deliver a very different kind of bottle, which is probably part of the look and feel of your business. Okay, but that's very hard. So this lady was trying to look for market for smaller companies to be able to find factories where they actually get help to be able to manufacture. She literally went to the factory floor, and you sit there literally and actually understand what your customer goes through. What do they go through every day of their life? What do their lives look like? What do they like? What do they like to eat? Where do they like to sleep? How do they like? Who are their friends? Where do they go to? It's not simply, sometimes we start businesses, but we cannot be our own, we cannot rely on our own experiences. Okay, say I'm selling juice. Maybe I like orange juice a lot, but that does not mean other people love orange juice. They could love strawberry juice, mango juice, much, much more than the orange juice I like. So we need to be able to know who our customers are intimately. There is no, like, go the extra mile to be able to understand who they are. Number 2, when you start that business, that juice business, before you even decide I want to make more orange juice than mango juice, invite those customers early to your business. Please and have that mentality of abundance. Just because I'm early to the market and I am showing you what my ideas are, doesn't mean someone is necessarily going to steal them. Develop the solution together with your customers. That's what she says. Like, make sure that they are part of you every day. That goes back to the earlier hacks we talked about. Don't wait too long to be able to take your product to market. Don't wait too long to put your whole idea together. Find your customers and build that solution together with them. Then hack number 15 is worship the franchise. And some of us may be thinking, let me start a side hustle, okay? So Claire here, our lead, has a very nice business in interior decoration. So if I want to do interior decor, honestly, why should I start from scratch? Well, I know Claire. Claire, give me the name. Let me open a branch, okay? We have Winnie Karunji. She's part of G4G. She has a daycare. Very nice concept. She has sat down. She has created a nice model of how to raise children well. Why should I start it from scratch? I have other examples of the Credo, Manuela Mulondo. She has sat down and created a proper processes, manuals. Why should I start from scratch? Well, there is a woman in this Kampala who has a business I would like to start. I buy a franchise. Easy. I get into it and move on. That the person has invested a lot of time in designing customer journeys. When I have a business also, let's take our time and innovate in those customer journeys. The point at which the customer is interacting with us. It's not enough for me to design my products. For example, let's say I'm selling juice. Daphne, I'll give an example with you again. Or I saw Angela here. She has Zumba classes. You're innovating with your customer journey constantly. What points at which your customer is interacting with you? Are they coming online, offline, WhatsApp? Are you replying the WhatsApps on time? How are you doing your customer journey? As much time you're spending, the amount of time you're spending perfecting your product is also the same amount of time you need to take to innovate the user journeys and where they're interacting with you. Then she also talks about turning every part of your business into numbers. How many people were there today? How many customer visits? How many people inquired? I teach a very interesting unit under marketing, CIM, which is called digital optimization. So basically in this unit, we are trying to show we try to help students or maybe businesses be able to understand how to translate these numbers into actually customers who are actually buying. So if you do not really understand what your daily sales are or which customers are coming to you, how then do you convert them into buyers of your products? Because if I know I have 100 inquiries on my website, for example, but only 2 people bought, that means my conversion rate is very low, okay? That means I need to be able to find a way to be able to make those changes. And those changes can't come at the end of the month. They have to come on a daily. Then she also talks about if you find something that is working, it has to become part of your operating manual. It should not be a secret. Any employee who comes through the door should be onboarded and should be told these things are working. Okay. Then the last part of that hack, she talks about there is very little magic in women who are working alone, struggling alone in a subsistence business. Working together is extremely important, right? Then under hack 16, she talks about squeezing out every drop of value that we have. So we are starting a business. I'm still going to give an example with a juice business, for example. So let's say I'm doing juice, but yeah, I know I go to the market to find those fruits, but eventually I can also do my own farm where I'm growing passion fruits. I have orange trees. I'm just basically trying to be in every part of the value chain. You find that by me putting together a farm that's growing passion fruits, I probably have better quality passion fruits, and I have better juice and better customers who are staying. Recently, on Sunday, I was with Aggie. We were talking about a lady who is actually growing strawberries. Agnes, I know you're online today, who is actually growing strawberries to be able to provide strawberry juice. I'm sure you have looked at strawberries in the supermarkets in Uganda. They're quite expensive. But if you call her to make juice for you, she will give you very good strawberry juice because she's actually making use of the entire value chain. Okay? If you cannot do that, participate in the entire value chain, find where to save money, and also try to innovate around the customer and what they would love to do. So sometimes with the customers, what is it that they appreciate? An extra, maybe a call during their birthday. If you have used spas around Kampala, sometimes they will call you on your birthday and tell you you have a free spa for your birthday. They're just trying to squeeze out every drop of value they have from you, because they know if you come for your birthday, you'll probably come back again sometime later. Then hack 17 is laser in on an empty shelf. I'm going to summarize it because I also had to read it a couple of times to really understand this hack. So this hack, she's trying to say that we need to find where the opportunities are in our environment, right? She gives an example of having a pop-up market in a different space. For example, if people are selling clothes in a pop-up market, and then I can put food, something different. Basically, I've created an opportunity where there was none initially. So we are introducing food in an ecosystem where people are just selling clothes. People who are selling clothes will want to eat something, which helps. So it's basically about finding every place where we can actually introduce our product. We need to find an empty shelf. Don't go where there's too much competition. For example, if I'm selling shampoo, literally, when you go to the shampoo shelf in a supermarket, there are like 10 different brands. But if I'm trying to sell shampoo, where am I going to go and sell? Where I'm different? I could, for example, say I'm going to go to the saloons themselves and sell directly to them, something like that. Now, if you're not sure about where to create an empty shelf, pay attention. And if you can't pay attention, not sure about paying attention, we go back to hack 14, where we talked about getting into bed with your customer, getting to know them extremely intimately. Hack 18. In hack 18, she talks about the passive income that we all want to have. Let's say, for example, we are saying we want to have a side hustle. Claire talked about her side hustle and said, yeah, I have a side hustle. But passive income is a myth. You can't start a business and say, okay, I'm a Zumba instructor, for example. Yeah, that's my side hustle. I'm just going to let it make me money. So today, going forward, we are going to call it less active income instead, because there is no business we are doing that does not require maintenance. I make juice, I bake cakes, I must be present. I am spending some time there. Even when I'm not, even when I have a full-time job, I'm spending some time there. Let's not call it so much of a side hustle. It requires a lot of constant effort in it, and we need to make time for these side hustles that we are doing before they become main hustles. Hack 19, when the bar is too low, dance on it. We need to figure out what is different about our business. What differentiates me from another person's business? And then we stick to it. Okay, sometimes it's going to be tough. It's going to be tough, especially, let me give an example with maybe a clothes business. I bring my clothes from Turkey, for example, and I have this boutique that I'm selling, and everyone else is going to China, please. The clothes are like, half, not even half. Okay, a business suit may be costing 500,000 in my shop, but there is another shop selling them at 70K. But if I choose my value is 500K, we are going to stick with that and be relentless as an entrepreneur, because I have chosen value, I have chosen good quality. I know if someone buys my dress or my suit, they're going to wear it for another 3-4 years and they will not need another one. So let's keep in mind that we have chosen what differentiates our business from another and stick to it. Now, the other one is there are always going to be ups and downs in our business. We've seen it with COVID. As in, we have seen it with COVID. I have, like, part of my life, there is a poultry farm. And during COVID, we had so many eggs, literally. I think you guys, like, you notice, like, at home, someone would stop with a pickup and eggs were as little as 6,000 shillings. You know, like, anyone who was in farming at that time, you know, anyone who was selling, just like, let me tell you, unless you were in a service industry that was immune to something like COVID, everyone had a feel of it. But sometimes, you know, your integrity, keep your values and integrity, and let everybody in your environment know them, because then you will have friends, you will have family who will definitely pull you up from it. Yeah, that is hack 19. Thank you so much for listening to my section. I am going to pass it back on to Claire to take us through section 3, which is go.
Wow, thank you, Primera. Sorry. Yeah, thank you, Primera. The energy from that section, the energy from that section is amazing. Yeah, thank you so much. Now, section Go, if you're thinking about what Primera has said, this section just now tones it down a bit and shows you what you're supposed to of how do you move forward. Now you've started a business. Now you've got the hacks that Primera talked about. Now section 3 is about go. We have started a business. How do we propel it? How do we conduct the business? And she talks about the many stories in this section and some names. So if you haven't read the book, I just encourage you to go back and read the different hacks in this session. Yeah, now I'm just going to go quickly through it. And hack 20 talks about find your Dolores house star. Now, Dolores house star was a celebrity who actually helped another, Gloria. And so Gloria gives the credit to Dolores for everything that she has achieved. And she says, I would never have known what I was capable of if it wasn't for you. And so we need to have that kind of speech. Who do you actually say such things to? Who has helped you? Who is that Dolores that you can actually say, if it wasn't for you, I would never have gone out and done this. Here, I'll give you an example of my own experience. It was Winnie, one of our mentors from the STEM group, who told me, why don't you start a book club? And even with all my love for books, I had never done it. I had never taken the courage to say, you know what, let me start this thing. But until she pushed me into it, until she told me, start it, at least you'll have me as a member. And so we need such people in our camp. We need people who will be able to push us, yeah, who will be role models, who will be able to push us and encourage us to do great things. And so we need, in the book, she says we need aspirational networks. Some of the people who are around us actually pull us down. They talk about how your business is going to fail, how it will never work, how it has been done 1,000 times, how you shouldn't even try it. We need to change the circles and the people around us so that in order for us to move on. So that hack says find your own Dolores. And then hack 21, it's about Silicon Valley buy. Now, if you haven't read the book, like I said, you need to go back to understand in what context are they using that kind of language. Now, Silicon Valley, that's where all the different tech brains, innovation and creativity is on a high. Yeah. And many of the people think that if I'm to make it, I need to actually make it to Silicon Valley, because I know that's where Facebook was born, that's where Google was born, that's where I should go if I want to develop a simple app. In this book, she says, be a big fish in a small pond. You don't need to be in Silicon Valley for you to actually make it big. You start where you are with what you have. So you can be a big fish in a small pond. It's about impact in that particular area where you want to start. Then in hack 22 says, don't wait for the fox to get woke. Now, it's about don't wait for all your ducks to line up in a line. You need to create a community with mutual interests. If you look at, for example, Girls for Girls, we all have something that unifies us, and that is our need and our desire to see other people grow, to see girls lead, to see other people shine. So that brings us together. And in this hack, it says that you need to find people and make a community that works for you. You must be able to make a community that works for you and create that village. In Girls for Girls, we say it's a village. So create that community. So hack 23, it's about learn the rules of the new clubhouse. Sometimes you enter a space, you enter a business, and you're clueless about how things are done. Someone was giving an example of, was giving an idea that you can actually enter the business of supplying food to schools. Now, off head, I was like, okay, food to schools. Yeah, she said, food to schools. Just buy posho and buy beans and supply to schools. You know that people will actually buy the posho and beans. You don't have to start a restaurant. And for me, it made sense. I was like, okay, you don't even need to put in a lot of politics, a lot of math. Schools will be there. Beans will always be there. Posho will always be there. All I need are schools, and I supply. I become their supplier. But the person does not tell you the nitty-gritty of that business. Yeah, does not tell you. So you go on sinking all your capital, buy the posho, buy the beans. Maybe you have one school, but they don't tell you the fact that some of these schools will pay you next term. They will pay you after the term has opened and after they've consumed the produce this time around. So you need to be able to understand how the game is played in every industry. You need to learn, in here they say, you need to learn the new art of communicating. You need to be able to understand that sometimes it's impact, yeah, that is a new status symbol. They give examples of many times you go out and you even send the wrong emails that please add me to this group. Please, you in the book she states it, don't ask to be on the list. Do something that where people will actually look for you to be added onto the list. Do something and people will watch what you do and you'll be added on the list. Many times we ask, please add me into this club, add me into this group. I need to be part of this circle. Do something and you'll be automatically added onto the list. So those are some of the new rules of the game. Hack 24. It's about a 4-word phrase that gets shit done. Now, you could ask, what phrase is that? Now, she states, it's a long passage, but I'm going to summarize it. It's not what do I do? What do I need? You shouldn't ask, what do I need? You need to ask, what do you need? And this is related to what Primera was saying, that you need to be obsessed with your customer. Now, many times we say, this is what I need for business, this is what I need to do, this is the new product I need to launch. Yeah, if I'm doing bread for a long time, I'll start cakes, I'll go into weddings, I'll start buns, I'll do croissants, I'll do this. But have you understood what the client needs? So we need to ask, what do you need? Not what do I need? That is a 4-word phrase that gets things done. So some of the things that are stated in this hack, it's about what can you do to also complement, to grow your customer base. It's about the nice things that we do in our workspaces, in our corporate spaces, but never do in our private businesses. For example, the small gifts. Sometimes we have gifts for our corporate clients at the end of the year, vouchers and things like that. In our small business, we say we cannot afford it. And so we don't do it. In this passage, in this hack, they say small gifts go a long way. And then writing thank you notes to your clients. Then also writing good reviews. Sometimes we want people to write good reviews for our businesses. But when was the last time you wrote a good review for someone else's business? It's actually better, easier for that person to write a review for you because you've also written a review for them. So we need to actually go out of our way and write good reviews. If someone has actually had a good service, nowadays we can put you on WhatsApp status, thank you for your service. Next time you're posting something or when they purchase your service, they'll be able to give you a good review. So we need to be able to learn to give good reviews for as well a good service given. And then also they give an example of a CEO when he had a long trip or a long train trip, he would always post on social media, anything I can be helpful with, give me a call. During that time when he was free or traveling, that is a statement he would put out on social media, and that would be his way of giving back. He would put anything I can be helpful with, give me a call. And so those are some of the examples that they give in this particular goal. And then hack 25, it's a knockout power compliment. It's about complimenting someone or something and how it can actually come back to, like, it can have good returns. Many times as women, we do not acknowledge the good things that someone is doing. You think she'll become proud, she'll be full of herself. I can't tell her that she's doing this right. So even in a competitive environment, if someone is doing something better than you need to acknowledge. Like for myself, in my interior decor and home organizing business, there are people that I see that actually do things better than I do. And I am ready to, I acknowledge it. I'm like, oh, she actually does a good job in terms of creativity. She does a good job in terms of her color palettes. She has done a good job with this particular space. So you need to be able to give those power compliments, especially when you're around people who actually are better than you. And 26, hack 26 says, don't ever be sorry, be fabulous. I think I've met this in some of the books that we have read, and I'm a victim of over apologizing for things that are not even done. You know, every single time you're like, I'm sorry, I'm sorry, I'm calling you I'm sorry for bothering you. I'm sorry, I just wanted to get some feedback, or saying sorry before a conversation. And she gives different ways we say sorry, and we show lack of confidence in what we do. For example, that I think, oh, this is just my side hustle. This is my small thing, my little business, my small startup. I'm struggling with my thing on the side. That kind of language is leaving us and keeping us where we are. Instead of apologizing and being sorry all the time, we need to be fabulous. You need to ensure that your side hustle or your business is at its peak and you're proud of it. Even when you speak about it, be proud to market it as the way you envision it. You envision it to be the best home organizing business in Uganda and abroad. You envision it to grow and get franchises. You envision it to be bigger than it is right now. And so that's the kind of language that she encourages us to use. Don't ever be sorry, be fabulous. Then hack 27, and this was a funny one, show me the receipts. It is referring to some instance that I actually remember very well, where a journalist talked about Whitney Houston and said Whitney Houston had bought drugs worth $730,000 of cocaine and heroin and all that. And Whitney Houston responded, show me the receipts. Yeah. So that is the example that she gives, and it was actually very funny. But we need in our business environment, even in our own space, we shouldn't be throwing around numbers without evidence. You know, when you go for a business call, you say, my business is this, my business is this, I have all this, I get 300 customers a month, I have all this. No, let other people tell your story. Let their stories be the receipt. Let someone who has experienced your product sell it for you. Let these people be your referrals. And so here she talks about the power of stories, that instead of throwing around the numbers, throw around the stories. And so this one reminded me that I should be able to show the receipts. And so 28, this is, I think, the second last hack for this section. It master startup, Jetmind tricks. It talks about the language as entrepreneurs, the silent language that we show people. This also goes in our own corporate spaces. When you enter a room, how do people perceive you? How do people understand your brand? Do you sneak in through the back? Do you silently slide into the back seats so that people do not see you? Or do you walk ahead and take the front seat? It talks about some of the energy that you give out, the energy level, the body language. We need, for every presentation, whether you're meeting a client, we need to be able to shape the dynamic of the room you enter. And so it's not only about the business, but also about the entrepreneur, the owner of the business. You are the CEO of this brand. When you enter a room, be able to master the communication of language, the body language, and the way you show off the energy that you give. And the last one in this section, that is hack 29. Now this, I think, was my favorite. Bring a red hot Trojan horse. It's about your business and how you actually propel it into the space. How do you actually bring your ideas to life? Are they slow snail pace ideas or concepts? Here, she suggests that you enter the room as a red hot Trojan horse. We need to be able to have the excitement, have the energy. Like I said at the beginning, you need to be motivated, ambitious, resilient if you're to succeed as an entrepreneur. Yeah, so we need to have excitement. We need to be able to be excited. If it's about Kathy is starting, she has the most amazing banana loaf breads. She should be excited about it. She should talk about it with such energy and such excitement. And so let us be Trojan horses in our business ventures. Yeah, that ends the section, or go. Yes, back to you, Primera.
Thank you for that section. Now we have gone through 30 hacks, 29 hacks. Hack 30 is on a section 4, which is called funds. All right, we are ladies, we are trying to start a business. I had said earlier, sometimes we don't have that much money to be able to start a business. So here's the thing, starting a business is expensive. So under hack 30, she says, start scrappy, stay scrappy. We say we have maybe 3 million shillings, 1 million shillings, 500K to start our business. We need to stay within what we have, okay? So number one, she says, do not pay for anything you do not need to pay for. Just first ask around. If you need a desk to sit somewhere, look for a friend who has an office space who can give you that one chair to sit. You want to start farming? You have a friend who owns a plot of land, first ask before you pay for anything. Do not pay for anything unless you have asked. Number two, the website is dead. She talks about when you're starting scrappy, okay, there are so many options today. Someone asked, please talk about hack 13. It was about the tech, letting the techies be, about the techies. We've seen it in COVID. This book is written a little bit before COVID hit, and she talks about the website being dead. And what the reason she's talking about that is she's saying that the little money that you have to start that business should not necessarily be spent putting up a website. Sometimes Instagram is sufficient. I have a friend who started a makeup business in late 2018. I think her first customers were around January 2019, and that's just 2 years ago. And when I opened her Instagram page, she had over 2,500 followers. Let me tell you, in business, getting to 2,500 is a big deal. I don't think she needs a website. Instagram is sufficient and working for her makeup business. I even told her congratulations, because getting to that is a big deal. Understanding the channel you as a business owner need to use is very important. It's okay to ignore people who have their fancy websites and concentrate on really getting your business together and the value proposition together. Then she also talks about not spending on like looking for interns and not paying them. I know it's very popular in Uganda, especially when you have university students doing their internship. It's very expensive to use unpaid interns. One thing is, these are people who have access to your business information. It would be prudent to just give them a small contract, non-disclosure agreements with you, so that they don't disclose your company information as they go about their business. And then pay them a little, even if it's just for their day-to-day or transport costs. I've seen people pay 300, 400, 500,000 just to make sure that that intern is paid. Let them do a lot of work for you, background information, give them tasks, plan for them. Just don't let them come into your business just like that. It's just internship. Oh, I have a friend. Oh, for me, I have a finance company. My friend has asked me to have their child over. No, it's not that simplistic. Make sure you have a plan for them. You have work for them to do. Pay them a little. Let them sign up a contract with you so that you also save for your business. Hack 31 is about raising prices. This one is a bit controversial. I love building businesses from the ground up. I consult a lot with small businesses that are trying to grow and how they should grow. So recently I advised our client I had to be able to increase their prices, but they're worried. They're worried, will my customers stay with me? Truth is, you will find the customers in your level of work. I gave an example earlier with having a boutique business where I'm selling clothes which are worth 500K. Honestly, if you go around town, most of the people who are importing clothes from other countries apart from China are actually bringing in clothes which are much more expensive. But what is it? Are they scared that their customers are going to leave? Are they scared that customers won't afford you? You may have to change a few things about your business, okay? You may change how you advertise, you may change your channels, you may say, okay, now because I have more high value clients, maybe I need to start playing golf, for example, because I need to meet more high value clients, okay? Now, if I say I'm going to start playing golf today so that I meet a few gentlemen and ladies who are playing the golf course who can afford my products, that means I'm spending more in my lifestyle to be able to get to those customers. Sometimes, if I don't want to have that expense, I know how I'm going to price my products. Now, she goes on to say that sometimes we as women, especially when you have grown up with insecurities around finances, we undervalue ourselves so much. We start focusing on our product, we start pricing it cheaply, below market value, because we are worried about getting customers. No. Today we are saying no. Another thing she talks about is confusing your shopping habits with those of your customers. I gave an example earlier with juice, thinking because me, I love orange juice, everyone must love orange juice. No. What do your customers want? Back to hack 14. We must go get into bed with our customers. Then she goes again to say, and I'm going to read from the book on page 135. She says, underpricing yourself does even more damage to you emotionally and physically than it does to your bottom line. So be generous and examine every option it comes to giving yourself and your business a raise. When you take a stand for your product or service by raising prices and getting the yes nod from the market, the emotional benefit is off the charts. You become happy that you're actually making money for what you're doing. Hack 32, this is about raising money. So she's talking about most times when we are early startups, when you're starting your business for the very first time, you're looking for money from savings you made, for example, from your own salary, from your spouse. Sometimes we may go to extended family, you may go to your parents, you may go to your cousins, uncles, and raise money, okay? But that's also sometimes for just the lucky few. Not all of us have that privilege. Sometimes you're actually the one paying fees for these people, okay? What do you do in that case? Okay, so she says, don't worry when you do not have family to give you that money to be able to start that business. Then she also talks about looking at loans from a bank to be able to get funding for your business. So she says that when you're looking to get funding from a bank, I am going to make sure that we have in one of our sessions that we are going to have someone from a bank come and tell us about getting loans from a bank. We had a session last year where we had a finance expert from MTN coming to tell us about how to invest money. So we'll try and get one this year who will come and speak to us about loans in a bank. But she says that finding a loan officer is like finding a spouse. That person is someone, if you have a relative, you have a friend who is in banking or loans, those people should be your friends. They're the ones who tell you how to get a loan. They tell you, no, you can't get a loan from this bank. The interest rates are so high. There are very many, I remember that session we had last year with Girls for Girls. There were so many, there's so much financial jargon that we don't understand sometimes as a business person. You don't understand it, you don't understand. He gave us a lot of information. He told us where to go to Bank of Uganda site, how to read it, what it meant. Honestly, for me, that person, I would like him to come back again because that person is so important in our lives because they give us a lot of information that could ordinarily not know. Then in hack 33, we talk about venture is a white collar drug. So basically this section is about funding, and then they're talking about venture capital, how to raise money for your business. So when they're talking about venture capital, is about someone, you're trying to raise money online, and then that person is going to own a part of your business. So she talks about being very, very careful about pursuing alternatives of funding your business where you're giving a part of your business. So most times when you give out a part of your business, that person is most likely taking controlling stake of your business in terms of your equity, in terms of you. So that means at the end of the day, you become a minority owner. So you have this big dream for your business. You have put out a strategy. You're the one who dreamt it. Imagine someone coming and taking it all. And you know, when they have controlling stake, they can even throw you out of your own business. So she talks about you must pursue every other avenue and alternative of getting money for your business to grow other than giving away part of your business in terms of shareholding. So today I'm owner, maybe me and Kathy today own a business. We own 50% shares. Then we get a venture capital person or an angel investor in our business who wants maybe 55% of controlling stake of our business. That means me and Kathy no longer have controlling stake of our business. They can throw us out literally, which is really not good for what we want. Then in Hack 34, they talk about debt is a 4-letter word. You need to know about short-term financing and long-term financing. And like we saw in the earlier hack where they were saying, hey, my friend, finding a person in the bank to actually tell you the truth is as hard as finding a spouse. Basically, the first time you start dating, you may never even marry that person. Like it's a tough one. So sometimes you need to know the difference when I need money. For example, I had a friend who last month needed, who is in the printing business, and they needed some money to be able to do some work, but they were not liquid enough to do the money. So in that case, what do you do as a business owner? Do I take my land title and get a 10-year loan? Or do I look for family or a friend to loan me money that I'm going to return in 12 months? So ideally, if I have to hold up my bank loan, my title in a bank for 10 years, that means later on I may not have an opportunity when I need the money to be able to get another loan some other time. So that's being careful about when do I need short-term money for a short time, or when do I need money for a long time? Remember, when my bank title is in a bank for 10 years, I can't use it. I can't sell that land. I can't do anything with it. Yet the money, I probably needed it for 6 months, and that was it. So that being careful in our businesses. Then they also talk about looking to get financing from smaller banks. As the smaller the bank, the more chance you have of getting a bank loan officer who is going to give you more attention, who is going to be more resourceful, who is going to listen to you, who is going to look at your business better, who is going to look at your profit and loss, who is going to look at your projections for your business, and who is going to even listen to your dream. So that's the micro hack she gives. Give small banks a big look. Pay attention to them and try to go to them more than looking at bigger banks. I hope there's no one here working for a really big bank, but we shall give you an opportunity to tell us all the products and services that you have for the G4G ladies. Then I combined hack 35 and 36 because it's still about crowdfunding. It's about being ready. The moment you start looking for funding and you start looking for other people to invest in your organization, or your business, you need to be very ready. Don't think it's not about creating, by the way, the very nice presentations. It's about asking the hard questions. Why me? Why this? Why? These questions will come up. You need to be able to answer them. Then you need to pay attention on things like vanity metrics. And earlier on, I talked about making sure that you have numbers in your business. Claire has also talked about numbers speaking for you. You need to have a story for your business, but we need to be careful about vanity metrics. Vanity metrics is those key performance indicators we are putting for ourselves that really don't mean anything. Let's say maybe I'm looking at number of likes on a post. That number of likes on a post is not going to give me conversions, okay? Number of daily sales is not a vanity metrics. Those people actually bought from me. Those are people you need to actually pay attention to such elements in your business. So as we draw up the business plan, as we draw up the strategy, we need to make sure that we do not put vanity metrics as part of our KPIs. Most of the people we are trying to get money from will see that from a distance, and they're not going to give us any money. Now, Hack 37, she talks about write the Casablanca of decks. This is when she's talking about I need money from, I'm trying to look for money as a founder. I am going to write a PowerPoint presentation to present to my potential investor. Now, she says, especially women, we are fond of hiding the financial ask in our business. We are all trying to put all this background information, my SWOT, my pastel, you know, that all that background information in the first slides. And she's like, no, 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 no. Most of the people you are presenting this to are very busy people. So put your first slide, let it have the financial ask. I'm looking for $1 million. I am going to put it on slide number 1 and another slide at the bottom, but be to the point, get to the point. Tell us, stop putting your idea at in the middle slide. It should come first. You need to hit these people first time and tell them what they're talking about. And then she gives an example with movies. When you're watching a movie, when you have, you know when the movie starts, there are no secrets about who the star of the movie is. Literally, you can tell it in the first 2-3 minutes. It's the same thing with that slide deck. Make sure you don't bury the information you're providing there because you feel like you need to give the investor all this background information before you actually tell them what your idea is. Then the next thing she talks about is customizing that deck you're sending to match the person you are sending it to. For example, she gives like people who are, let me give an example. Today, if I was going to, I started a tech company and I'm trying to sell the idea to a gentleman who is about 65, about 60. I'm just giving an example. They are not yet in the world of conversion rates and all that. More digital, more tech conversation may not rub on a man like that if he's going to be in the boardroom, because it's not that it's a vanity metrics, but it's something he does not identify with. Okay, let us understand who you are going to be presenting it to. How do they work? What kind of ideas do they like? What kind of deck can I pitch? Is it more inclined into the numbers and the projections in the end? You need to understand who you're going to be presenting it to. Then making the deck is the easy part. The most difficult part is being able to make sure that your financial situation in your business is good. Then we go to hack 38. And in hack 38, Sara and our author, Nathalie, are talking about finding angels. Angel investors are basically people who are going to invest in your business. Now we need to remember that the person investing in your business can be anybody in your environment. Like I said earlier, I like working with small businesses, and a lot of them, like you can come and we talk about the first thing from your vision to your mission to what you want to do with your business and help you structure your idea to make sure that your business grows well. But in that, as I do that, sometimes I can look at an idea and say, oh wow, but this entrepreneur is getting onto something. And in the end, most likely they are going to convert me in being an angel investor and giving them money and investing money in their area of interest. So number one, as an entrepreneur, let's get out there. People do not give people money just like that. They give people money, especially if they know you. Today, I know Claire has an interior business as a side hustle. If she comes for money tomorrow, I know what she has been doing. I've been working with Claire. What will stop me from investing in her business? Nothing. Now, I have another person who is here who has a business, or let me give an example with, let me say Gloria, which is Gloria. She has an HR firm. and maybe Gloria is not my friend, but I'm part of Girls for Girls. I will tell Prim, please introduce me to Gloria. I love what she does. I would like to know more about her business. I would like to pitch her. I have these young people maybe at uni. I would like to talk to her about some HR concept I have. You know what? Prim is going to pick a call and tell Gloria, we have this mentor, this mentee who is interested in your area, and that's it. And that connection is made. So get out there, get recommendations for people you'd like to meet. We have a very amazing village at Girls for Girls. Let me tell you, people are doing amazing things. You have no idea until you get out there and start asking for recommendations. That lady was at the fireside chat. That lady was at the book club, at the entrepreneur forum. I need to meet them. Let's get out there and ask for those recommendations until we get to where we want to go with our businesses. Then the other one was get out onto a one-on-one meeting. My friend, sending a deck to someone is not enough. Kampala has so many people. The population is so huge. People are busy, but you need that one-on-one meeting. So after you've gotten a recommendation, let's make sure that you have connected with the person on LinkedIn immediately. They know you. You're able to get a one-on-one meeting to be able to be clear on what your value proposition is in their lives. Then the other one is about clarifying your currency. Okay. So when you're clarifying your currency, is basically about what am I bringing onto the table and what are you bringing onto the table. Sometimes we don't always have money to put on the table. Sometimes I need help with my business. Yeah, but what else can I put on the table? Recently, Angela, I hope you're still on the line. I was offered free Zumba classes for as long as I want in exchange for help me with, we have to make this business work and grow. Thank you, Angela, by the way. I'm going to take you up on it. All right. Then on page 165, I'm going to read it in her words. The last paragraph before the micro hack on page 165. She says, find your angels and study them well. Because when I say an angel can be anyone, that means you too. As soon as you have the wherewithal, put your money where it can have the most impact, in the hands of another smart woman entrepreneur. Today, I believe we have some women here who have resources which are extra, and they may need to invest in another woman's business. We have an Women Entrepreneurs Forum. We have provided a link on the chat. You can join it. And if you're a woman who would like to support another woman entrepreneur in G4G, you are welcome. We have them and they're doing an amazing job at G4G. Then hack number 39 is about, now we have gone to the boardroom. We have created our deck. It's beautiful. And they have accepted us and they have said, okay, Kathy, come to the boardroom and explain to us your idea and how much money you need to ask. We have created the perfect deck. We are now in the boardroom. Now, the people who are giving us money smell fear from a distance. You must be well prepared with all your answers, with all your questions, with everything that you need to answer to them, irrespective of how they answer. We say in Girls for Girls, we do things afraid. Okay? We have been asked to go to a boardroom and we need to defend ourselves and get the money. All right? Our pitch is finally here. We walk in smart and we walk out smarter. Then my last hack for today on my side is we are now growing our business. We need to answer the $10 million question. How should I grow as a business? How should the company grow? We need to understand the difference between raising money to grow bigger versus selling versus staying small. Those are three things about your business that are going to happen as you grow your business. So, number one, I have decided to grow my business bigger. Okay, I am selling juice. I have decided to stop selling only in Kampala. I want to move to Mbarara, Arua, Jinja. I'm growing bigger. That means I need to raise more money for my business. I go back to either I am going to take a bank loan, short term, long term. Am I going to get money from family? Where am I going to get money? Am I going to raise money and give someone a stake in my business? That's up to you as a person on how you choose to grow bigger. Now, I can also choose to sell my business. We've seen it happen with large corporates around the world, large businesses around the world. They sell out and say, give me $10 million and the business is all yours. We've seen companies sell to Facebook. We've seen it. They close shop and move on to something else. Now, number 3, we have another option as ladies. We can choose to stay small. Let me tell you something. The economy of Uganda is driven by those small businesses. Not deciding not to become big is still a choice, and there's nothing wrong with it. If you do not know, and she actually explains in her book that small businesses, it's in page 172, small businesses are the backbone of any healthy economy. Okay, so choosing to stay with that shop at Chikubo and you don't want to move to Mbarara or Jinja or Gulu is okay. Me, if I choose to do that, it's still okay. As ladies, she's telling us, and this is the last part of section 4, which is about funding. And I'm going to read the last paragraph. Do not let anyone shame you into thinking that anything else is a failure. Anyone who turns up their nose at the small to medium-sized business does not understand how economies thrive. You decide what success looks, no one else. All right? As an entrepreneur, you are the only one who is going to decide what success looks for you. You have 3 options. Whatever option you choose to pick is your option. Thank you so much for listening to section funds. And now we're going to go to section 5, which is about growth. And Sylvia, you're welcome to teach us more about this section.
All right, thank you so much, Prim. Thank you so much, Claire. They've really done an amazing job. We've looked at how to set up a business, looking out for the opportunities to create a unique business, how to get it going. And Primera has just concluded for us about how to raise funds for the business. And she's ended on a note that says that you decide what success looks like, and you may decide to stay small or you may decide to grow big. So section 5 is for when you have decided that you want your business to grow bigger, you want to reach a wider market. So section 5, Nathalie talks about a few hacks that can help you to be able to grow your business to a wider market, to a bigger market. And she mentions that growing a business can really be like a series of crises. And I mean, it's a learning process for everybody because it's not something that is very easy to do. And, you know, trying to solve all these issues, you know, trying to decide, how do I increase capacity? How do I maintain, you know, cash flow? You may reach a point where you need to increase the number of employees that you have, the team that you're working with. How do I get my team to grow bigger? How do I find the right partners to work with? How do I get more money and all that? And she said that in that moment, when it feels like there's a sense of urgency, that is the moment that you need to actually slow down and, you know, examine what your values are. Because then in that case, how you answer those questions, how you get a team to work with, how you maintain your cash flow will really determine whether you end up with a business that reflects your goals. I mean, will you scale responsibly with your core values guiding your decisions, or are you willing to, you know, chase down growth at whatever cost? And the first hack that she talks about is hack 41, how not to choke on your growth. And she mentions that at the point where you've decided that now you need to grow your business, bigger, that is the point when you need to get clear and explicit about exactly what you're committed to, what your values are. And she tells a story of she grew up as a lady who was very competitive, always ready to win no matter what. And because of that kind of attitude that she had, it helped her to grow in the ranks at the organization that she was working with. And at one point, she got a very big deal of a big project to be able to solve a problem for a big technology company at that time. And so many people had been sent there to, solve that problem, and they had failed. But she knew this is a big opportunity and I have to make it work, whatever it takes. So she packed up her bags. They went to a place called Dublin. The team was working remotely in different places. She called up the team to that place, and they went there and they worked day and night, no breaks. They put in really all they had in them, and she made sure that the team worked so hard, and in 4 months they were ready to deliver the project. And on the day of the deadline, she mentioned that they went to the office, and they needed to do the final part of their project, where they were entering the data, transferring files. And all it took, there was just one gentleman called Stephen that just needed to come in and do all the logins that were necessary, so that they could be able to transfer the files and they would know the project is done. So as she came in the office in the morning, one of her employees tells her that Stephen called in sick. So she's like, and she was very disappointed, because she felt like, okay, why do we have only one person who can do this job? And the job had to be done. So what she did, she instructed her driver and 2 of her employees to go and pick up Stephen, who was sick, and they brought him to the office. And he asked them not to let him go home until he has trained 2 other employees who can do the same job that he does. And indeed, they brought him in. He trained the 2 employees, and they did the work. And they started transferring the files. And by the end of the day, the job was done. They had hit the deadline. The client was happy. Everything was good. So the following morning, she came very excited. The project had been finished. She came back to the office. They were, trying to wrap up and all. So one of her employees comes again to tell her that Stephen was not going to come to the office because he had called in sick. So she goes like, I don't care, because I have 2 other people that can do the same job, because they were trying to wrap up. So the other employee tells her that, this time he has called in sick from the hospital. He was in intensive care unit. And it was in that moment that it dawned on her that she had almost overworked somebody to death, because she didn't really care about what it took to get the job done. All she needed was to get the job done. So in that moment, she really sat down to think, is this the kind of person that I want to be? Is this the kind of boss that I want to be? Are these the values that I stand for? And it reminded me of this quote that says that you don't build a business, but you build people, and then the people build the business. So she mentions that while you're growing your business, sit down to really think, what are your values? What are the lines that you're willing to cross? And what are those lines that you're not willing to cross? Because you have to get it right from the start. If you don't get it right at the beginning, when it is just you and a few employees and the business is still small, then it becomes harder to get it right when the business has grown. So she mentioned that it is very important to get it right about what you're committed to, what your values are, so that you do not lose track of that as the business grows more. And then the next hack that she talks about is hack. I'll talk about hack 45, where she talks about the aspect of influencer influencer marketing. I know we've all heard about influencer marketing, where you get somebody that is, you know, very famous, maybe a celebrity, they have very many followers, maybe 1 million or so, or 5,000, and you would like them to advertise your product. She mentions that that's one way to do it, but sometimes it may not yield the results that you want. And she gives an example of one celebrity that was hired to you know, do marketing for a makeup product, some kind of lipstick. And you know, she looked good in it and all, and she had 1 million followers, but then most of her followers were men. And definitely the men, first of all, are not going to buy, and neither were they going to, you know, recommend it for other people to use. So she said the smarter way to do it is to get somebody who is an expert. They may not have many followers, but then they are an expert and they have influence over the people that, you know, that follow them. Or better still, you can become, you know, your own influencer. And how do you get to do this, to become, you know, your own small micro influencer? This Prim has been talking about, and Claire, you know, start being vocal on social media about what you do, about what you know. And with time, you're able to build an audience and a community that is able to understand what it is that you are engaged in. So you can be your own influencer. You do not have to solely depend on somebody else to sell your product. And Prim talked about the vanity metrics, you know, the likes, the follower counts. It's not really about the likes and how many likes you get, how many follower counts. The question is, when you post on Instagram, when you post on Facebook, are people commenting back? Do they share your posts with other people? Do they rave about your business? And most importantly, do they really buy? Those are the things that really matter, and those are the people that you should be following up. And in case the other way to do it is you can participate in other people's conversations that probably do the same thing or probably something different, until you have the authority to be able to start your own conversation. And once you start your conversation, it's very, very important to be yourself, because then people are able to relate to you when you are yourself. Do not try to be like somebody else. Be your very self, and define what's valuable to the people that you're trying to reach out to, and make sure that your posts are 80% about that. If you're selling juice, if you're talking about interior design, Claire is talking about interior design. If that's what you're passionate about, then talk about that. Let your posts be about that. Talk about it every day. Talk about it regularly. Don't mix it up with so many things so that everything gets lost in there. Talk about it often so that people can be able to get a touch of it. So when they see Claire, they know Claire is talking about, you know, interior design, or Claire is talking about a book club. Then with time, people get to follow you, and then they start engaging with you in a way that is real. The next hack that she talks about is grow fast. That's hack 47. She talks about grow fast by joining forces. Sometimes your business may have grown to a level whereby when you look and consider, if you joined with another company or another business, it could be able to yield, you know, it could be able to be more profitable for you and the other organization. Maybe I could give an example. If you may be in the events business, probably you do decoration, or maybe you do lighting or sound system, PA. If you got in touch probably with somebody who is joined forces with somebody who is like an event planner, that could help you to be able to access more market. It could even help you to reduce on costs of trying to market yourself, because then this events plan already has a ready market that is standing, assuming that they have the market. So she mentions that sometimes, Prim mentioned about sometimes you may decide to, you know, sell off your business, you may decide to stay small, but other times you may decide to join forces with another business, and this can help you shoot your business to the next level. So as you decide on how to be able to do that, or what business to be able to, join forces with, you think about, for example, does that merger expose each of you to new markets or new channels of business? Can it help you to reduce on waste of resources? For example, you could be able to share renting space with, you could be able to share renting space with this other business. You could be able to share internet. You could be able to share maybe your staff, the different workers that you have could be complementary. But of course, in this case, maybe you'd have to be willing to lose some staff. And your business can be able to grow in that way. So do not fear to join forces with another business if you've evaluated and you see that it can help you to be able to grow. Then the other hack that she talks about is hack 49. This one is catch a whale. And Claire mentioned, gave an example of, selling Porsche to a school. There's nothing wrong with small businesses, and like Primus emphasized, small businesses, they're really the backbone of a successful economy. And there's nothing wrong with that. But we also have, if you want to grow your business to be bigger, that is also okay. So you could decide that instead of selling your Porsche to 50 small shops around, you could decide to sell to schools or to if you're selling food stuffs, maybe to a hotel or to a bigger corporation. And not only in this hack, she talks about, it's not only just catching a whale or doing business with big corporations or their procurement officers. She mentions that it's also about making them partners in your business. She shares a story of a lady called Nina of Pinnacle Group. She had a company that was giving IT solutions to different companies. And for 5 years, she grew that business, and it was about $2 million worth. But then came the 9/11 crisis, and many businesses at that time really shut down because then companies no longer needed or had the resources to be able to hire them. So, but it did not happen for her because she had been part of a women's business council. It's called Women's Business Council Southwest, and she had been connected to a procurement officer of a big company. And because of that, business continued to go, because when you're with a big company, their demand is continuous, and their chances of their demand going down is a little bit low. So, and she mentions that in this case, the introduction to a big company or a procurement officer is not really everything. At the end of the day, you still have to deliver. You have to really be good at what you do. And once they've given you the connection, you still have to know, do your homework and know what does the company want? What are their pain points? What are the projects that they're working on? What are their values? And then you have to be able to provide value to them, even as you supply a service to them. And she mentioned that for her, when she's meeting a prospective client, she already knows the projects they're doing, she knows their pain points, and she's able to address every single one of those challenges that they have. And she mentioned that her ability to expand, it has not just been about landing big companies or big corporations, but it is about carefully choosing those customers or those clients that also care about the things that she cares about. So for example, she had a partnership with a company called AT&T, and beyond supplying them IT solutions, she was able to partner with them on projects that build the community, projects that were helping students to learn some business skills. And she mentioned that as you work with your clients, it shouldn't just be about supplying the service or the product that you're working. If you're working with these big corporations, it's not about supplying the product or the service. It's about partnering with them on things that you care about. So in that case, it also helps you in a sense that you look out for those clients that also care about what you care about. So in that way, you're able to be a partner. So in that way, your business is able to grow. They will not just let you go easily because you're more to them than just a supplier. You have now become a partner. If in fact you need to be recommended, they might even recommend you to, bigger opportunities. And of course, she mentions that, getting to work with these corporations, big companies, big corporations is not something that is easy. There's a lot of risk. And again, going back to the example that Claire talked about supplying food to a school, it's not just about waking up and taking the food to the school. You have to know they may not pay you immediately. Are you able to take that risk at that moment? And if you're not able to, how do you navigate your way into such a space? And she mentions that there's 2 ways to do it. You can start on tier 2. And what that means is that you can, for example, supply the person who supplies the school. In that case, you're able to learn the procurement process, you're able to know how the system works, you're able to grow your finances. And with time, once you've been able to know how the system works, then you're able to also reach that level where you can now supply the school on your own. And the other thing that she talked about is also, reinvesting aggressively. And she mentioned that many times, many people or many business women, they do not reinvest. They, as the money comes in, it's spent on other luxurious things. So she mentioned the importance of reinvesting as a way to be able to grow. And also, while you're reinvesting, because these big corporations, once you want to work with them, they look at your financials, how you're paying your taxes, how you're investing, in your businesses. And when they see that you're not investing, it may look to them that you're also not, proud of what you're doing. You're not sure of what you're doing. But when you're reinvesting, they know that, okay, this person is really confident in what they're doing. They are even willing to put back money into it. So in that way, they are able to hire you to be able to do the job. And then the last hack that she talked about is do good and make money. This is hack 50. Sometimes we think that the only way to do good is through non-profit, but here she was emphasizing that making money and doing good in the world, they're not mutually exclusive. You can do good and you can make money simultaneously. So something that maybe the business idea you have or that you are passionate about, you may be wondering, how can I monetize this? Some things are very easy to monetize, like selling juice, selling your posho to schools. But there are some things that may not be easy to monetize, like counseling, like if you're doing like teaching life skills, there are some few things that are not very easy to monetize, but she mentioned that you can still do good, make a contribution to the community, and still make money while you're at it. So thank you very much. That was it from me. I just picked out a few hacks, but I've seen Kathy has been able to highlight the other hacks. You can be able to go back to the book and be able to read.
Thank you so much, Sylvia. Thank you. You have officially been able to finish the last part of the section, which is about do good and make money. And she says, have fun doing it, like have fun making the money and doing good at the same time. Thank you so much, Sylvia. So this book had 5 sections, and in 5 sections, we've been able to tackle all the 50 hacks, which is amazing, in 2 hours. And I'm so happy. We shall have so much more, especially in the Girls for Girls Entrepreneurs Forum, in terms of looking at how to grow our businesses better. And I'm looking forward to seeing all of you ladies there and trying to build our businesses from the ground up. I actually love doing it. And we shall go through the hacks again. Where you have not understood, we will just go back to it. And thank you so much, Kathy, for making sure that we have so many comments in the group. Thank you very much, Benna, for supporting comments. And I would just like to call Claire to close for us this session. I am so happy that we have ended on time after going through 50 hacks. I'm sure you have some information overload and so many things to think about this weekend. I personally do, and I'm still going to continuously think about them. Thank you so much. And Claire, please close for us.
All right, thank you. Thank you, Primera. Thank you, Sylvia, Bena, Kathy. Thank you so much for all the collective effort to ensure that we review Leapfrog. We're in panic mode, thinking it's a very big book. There's no way we can go through 50 hacks. But reading such a book has reminded me so much about why we started the book club. The information that you get from such books, which syllabus can you actually study for you to get such wisdom and a lot of insights in terms of business? And so every book that we read every month, I encourage all of you to struggle. There's someone who told me it's a real struggle with a book club, but struggle to ensure that you read these things. There's a lot of information. The authors, these are people who have excelled, who have done the things that we dream about, the things that we long to do, they have already done, and they put all their wisdom into these books. So this month we are reading yet another great book, How Remarkable Women Lead. It's full of stories. Every single chapter has a story to soften the message, to drive the message home. Please read the book. If you haven't read it, if you haven't started, I encourage you to start it. We shall be communicating the review date. But for every book, from Switch to Mindset, if you haven't read even the books that we covered last year, I encourage you to do so, and also to attend the reviews. You see, like today, we're able to simplify a book. Many were asking about where to find it. We're not able to find it on the Ugandan market. The hard copies that we have were actually brought in by Primera from Nairobi, but they can be found, it's on Amazon. So if you can order it in from Amazon, or I don't know whether Primera can be able to share after this, ways of how we can actually get the hard copy if you want one. It's a very good gift to give someone who is in business, who is starting up. These are some of the meaningful gifts that you can give someone. Yeah, thank you so much. Please take care, stay safe, and thank you for coming and for being a part of this review. Thank you so much, and have a nice evening, and God bless you. And may his face shine upon you always. Have a nice weekend. Thank you. Bye-bye. And Primera is sharing flowers for everyone.
Thank you for showing up. You're appreciated.
Thank you. Thank you, ladies. Bye.